Thanks for watching.
Yeah, we weren't recording yet.
I know, but what the hell, right?
Yeah, way to go. All right.
Vibrate.
Let's get set up here.
Okay. All
All
righty then. Because that way I can just reach over and grab whatever embajador that I want. How do we look? You look okay? Oh, you know what?
I don't know. I can't see.
I need my glasses. Be right back. Just in case.
We are recording.
I'll be right back. Say something.
Okay. While he's gone, tonight this is Open Bar with Tequila Aficionado, and tonight we are featuring Embajador Tequila. So Andres Garcia will be joining us shortly. He is the representative and he's the importer as well.
He is the importer. Hi. Just forgot my glasses. He is the importer and also the sales manager and a family member. Now, a lot of people aren't aware of that.
We should introduce ourselves.
I'm Mike Morales.
How come it's going to be you first?
Because people are looking at us from left to right.
You don't know that.
I've seen the videos afterwards. I've watched them.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome to Open Bar with Tequila Aficionado. I'm Lisa Peach, and this is my assistant.
I'm the roadie. I'm just, nobody here. I'm the mouthpiece. And we're going to be talking to Andres Garcia a little bit as soon as he joins us here on our blab. And as I said, Andres Garcia is a family member of Embajador. You can see this nice little. It's actually a lighting diffuser. Believe it or not.
Don't tell our secrets.
But anyway.
No, this is a set. This is our set at Tequila Aficionado Studios.
Okay.
See? Ta-da.
Yeah, that's really a green screen. And you know what's interesting about a lot of people aren't aware about the logo. There's a lot of if you look at Embajador and their marketing, wow, we are getting.
Hey. The ice cream truck.
The ice cream truck is here. Wait, I want to go get some ice cream.
Here, give me some too.
Okay. Anyway, a lot of folks aren't aware that there's a lot of symbolism involved in their marketing on their boxes and also on their logo. But this particular, you can see that eye right there. That is actually a family brand.
I'm a very good pointer.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. The family brand, they're not just a distillery. They own ranch land. They're ranchers. The distillery.
They have the Embajador Ranch. Yeah, as a matter of fact, go to Embajador Tequila's website and check out the video of it's all Embajador Ranch. They raise horses there. And Mariachi Nuevo Tecalitlan did the music.
You said that very well.
I'm working on it.
Can you say it again?
I doubt it. I don't think so.
These mariachis, you can catch them on YouTube as well, and every so often when they come up with a new video.
They played for the Pope.
Yeah, they played for the
Papa.
El Papa. Pope Francis.
I said that well too.
That was good. Yeah. That's what you call. What do you call me in the mornings?
I speak Spanish.
Never mind.
Un
poquito. Yeah. This mariachi group is officially sponsored by Embajador, and the way it works is wherever they play throughout the world, they carry bottles of Embajador and they present those to the ambassador, the Mexican ambassador in whatever country they have to be playing. Mm-hmm. So they are truly ambassadors. Yeah. And they're amazing. You should catch them on YouTube every once in a while. I think Embajador.
They're great. They got some great voices on that.
Oh, they're so sharp. They're like one of the finest mariachi groups probably in the United States and now in the world. So if you catch them, you're in for a great show. If you can pronounce their name, you're in for a great show. But anyway, that's part of what Embajador does. But yes, they have a ranch. Mm-hmm. The family owns ranch land as well, which is where the distillery is located. And that happens to be the family brand when they brand their cattle. So, there's a lot of symbolism involved in what they do and quality of their juice. And
speaking of their ranch land, did you know that they have orange groves just on the other side of the agave?
You know why they do that?
The terroir is, the agave just soaks up.
For those of you who are interested, who are geeks like me, okay, they are from Atotonilco El Alto, all right?
Don't ask me to say that.
Which is the same neighborhood, for those of you who are watching, it's the same neighborhood as Siete Leguas. It's the same neighborhood as Don Julio, the original Don Julio. And for those of you who are still drinking them, the Patron as well is listed there. But anyway, this is in the same neighborhood. So if you like any of those tequilas, you will love this one. The Gnome, I think I will reach over and grab a bottle.
Don't hit me on the head.
I will. This is the Reposado, which they call the premium. Okay. Notice, look at the box. See the symbolism on the box? There's some great artwork. There's the family brand right there we were just talking about. The Gnome is 1509. See, right there. This is the flagship brand for the family. For those of you who may be familiar with the brand, they also make Embajador Jalisciense, which we'll be talking with Andres about this, but I have a feeling that particular tequila is also eventually coming into the United States. So right now, the only one you're seeing right now is Embajador. My understanding is that they are probably officially now in Arizona. They are based here in Austin, which is kind of interesting because Andres Garcia, the sales manager, lives in Arizona, but the brand itself is based in Austin. So pretty soon the world. And we wanted to talk to him about, they did a special show in New York, a trade show where they are looking to, they're looking to come into the state of New York. And New York.
It's Andres on the phone.
Andres is on the phone.
I'm going to take this.
Why is he on the phone?
Hello, Andres. I'm going to step away.
You're going to step away? Yeah. Andres is calling on the phone.
Tell them about your bat.
Oh, well, if I don't have them available right now, but in any case. So while Lisa takes care of a lot of the technical stuff because she is our technical person, Andres Garcia is looking to get a distributor in New York. So New York State, and my understanding also one of the Carolinas will be soon home for Embajador. So you can catch them. Also, they were a Brand of Promise nominee, I believe, a Brand of Promise winner. And you can catch our video review, Alex Perez and myself, our video review of Embajador. We loved it, fell all over ourselves. They're a really a prime example of what a startup brand really is, and how they're trying to penetrate the market and be different as far as their quality and things like that, as opposed to, and they don't have deep pockets either. I mean, the family, as I said before, most of these families with ranches have, they have different businesses apart from tequila, and a lot of that takes them. Tequila takes a majority of their business, of their time, but the majority of the money or what the family makes probably comes from other enterprises. So distilling tequila is just a small portion of that family business. While we're waiting for these technical difficulties that Andres is having, I'm going to talk to you about something really, really cool. All right. You know that if you follow Tequila Aficionado, we have been discussing how bats are so important to support and to take care of, because they initially, and we're trying to, the industry is working to see if they can get back to that where bats pollinate. And what has happened is that the tequila has been so monocultured. In other words, the plants have been replanted. Blue agave shoots pups, and they replant those pups, but they rarely, if ever, leave the stem, the quiote, to rise up and let it be pollinated by bats and cross-pollinate, so it strengthens itself. Consequently, because of that, the blue agave is very susceptible to diseases, okay? In the case of mezcal, there is one particular plant, one particular agave plant or maguey, that is pollinated by bats and only survives that way. I believe it's the cupriata. And in any case, there's a small portion of the tequila industry that is beginning to set aside land that they will wild harvest and let the plants themselves grow their quiote, grow their stem. And some very famous people are working on that right now. It's going to take a long time. This is to salvage the blue agave in the future, in the long term. But in the meantime, there's something you can do to support bats. This is in particular is from Bat World here in Texas. Bat World, what they do is they take bats, whether they're all types of bats here in Texas. If you're from Austin, or if you're watching us in Austin, or you've been to Austin, you've seen the bats come out from underneath the bridge. Those are Mexican free-tail bats, which are the ones that migrate from Mexico to Texas and back. And they have their own migratory flight that they do, very much like the monarch butterfly. The monarch butterfly was also in danger of being an endangered species, but it has made an enormous comeback, and we're hoping that happens to the bat. And in the meantime, Bat World allows you and lets you sponsor injured bats that cannot be released back into the wild for one reason or another. They find them, either they have injured wings or something, and they're not able to fly. So you can adopt a bat. And for Valentine's Day, Lisa was nice enough and really cool to let me sponsor
go to the
bat.
link I sent you.
And so you get a full certificate, you get a congratulatory packet inside, and inside is a picture of the bat that we sponsored. This is Mr. Kitty. Look at how cool he is. This one comes with a really neat story, because Mr. Kitty was actually brought to them, to Bat World, by a cat who had been also rescued. It was a rescued cat that had stuck around the location at Bat World. And on occasion, we'll bring an injured bat that it finds and leaves it on their doorstep. And they don't, the cat itself doesn't injure the bats. But this particular bat had a problem and cannot fly. It can't be released back into the wild. So in order for them to raise funds, they have an Adopt a Bat program. And it's really easy, but it's so cool. You get a bookmark, you get a booklet on Bat World, you get a congratulatory note from Bat World. And like I say, they give you a picture of the bat that you're sponsoring, some great information, a great informational packet. You know, the bats for a long time have been, they've been, a lot of misinformation out there. You get all the information of why we need to save bats. Do you know that they eat a ton of insects every night?
Okay,
every day. You know, you can build bat houses. You can take care of them yourselves if you have big trees out in your lawn, like we do here in San Antonio. We're gonna construct some. There he is. We're gonna construct some bat houses. I'm just telling folks about Bat World and how important how important it is to sponsor bats. Yeah. So anyway, there's Andres Garcia. He is the hi. How are you, bro? What's happening, man?
So sorry, I had a little bit of a technical difficulties here, man.
That's why she's here.
That's all right. You know, before we get started, I just want to say, if you're watching this video, you know, because it's available on demand later, if you're watching this video and you're thinking, wow, I'd like to get on Open Bar and talk about my tequila or talk about my product or talk about my bats or whatever.
Right.
Don't worry about the technical issues because I can walk you through it. And that's what we've done. We even had...
hey, look, did you see our sandwich?
Oh, man, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. No green screen required. You know, we just had this hanging around, and we figured next thing I know, it's on the fireplace mantle.
There you go.
So
No, this is Tequila Aficionado Studios. We had this made special just for this.
So anyway, I was telling folks about Bat World, and if you'd like more information on Bat World, certainly you can click on tequilaaficionado.com and just enter the search bar bats, and that information will pop up for you. We plan on visiting them hopefully sometime this year, and we'll get some videos and stuff on how you can support Bat World and help the bats, Mexican free-tail bats, because they rock. They rock and roll. Dude,
So,
how are you, man?
Good, man. Just happy to be back from traveling a little bit. So
tell us about your travels. Where were you?
last week we had the opportunity to do the a trade show out in New York, the USA Trade tasting event. It was the first year that they put it together, so it was a good show. You know, you got a lot of wines, a few spirits, some really new brands coming out.
That was a startup show.
Yeah,
it was a brand new one.
We got to meet a lot of people. We, of course, always sampling is always great. Having people try it, and then just let them see for themselves what Embajador Tequila is all about, and let them come up with their own kind of feedback on Embajador, and then let them, either you like it or you don't. So.
Well, go ahead.
Was it just consumers that were there, or were there distributors and restaurants and bars there?
You had a few distributors, small distributor independents. You had a lot of brokers coming in, importers looking for new brands to add to their portfolio. So you got a little bit of everything. Definitely for the trade. Not so much the kind of the on-premise people, but more the on the other side of the tier system. So it was overall a good show. We got to experience New York for the first time, so it was great. It's just being from the West Coast, you kind of hear rumors about New York people being rude or anything, but no, we didn't experience any of that, man. It was some of the nicest people out there, and so it was great. Fast paced though, fast paced.
How was the general reaction to Embajador when they tasted it and smelled it? Because you and I have worked a couple of shows together before, so we know. I kind of know how your routine works, but every show is different. So how is it? How did it go? How did people enjoy the the flavor profile? Did they go to start? Were they looking for blancos? Were they looking for reposados? How was the general reaction?
Was that reaction you get where people have a certain perception about tequila, and then they kind of have Embajador, and it's like, oh wow, it's not what I expected. A lot of people would come back and just just really give us praise about our process, what we're doing with the brand, the kind of quality things that we're doing for our tasting profile. And a lot of people were interested in our process, and how we get our tasting profile. And not until you try do you kind of appreciate the process that goes behind Embajador Tequila. So definitely a lot of positive feedback. Like I said, a lot of people interested in working with us on the East Coast. So we'll kind of entertain those relationships that we've made and go from there. You know.
Excellent. So it was very positive. In other words, it was
definitely worth the trip. Experience. You know, so we're looking forward to building off some of these relationships and hopefully start a good partnership with some of these distributors that we met and some of these brokers who are interested in working with us. So.
Now, these distributors, were they from New York State, or were they from all over the U.S. coming, or at least the Eastern Seaboard?
Mostly the Eastern Seaboard. We had one solid distributor from South Carolina, which is been an interesting state to pursue. Other people from like New Jersey, of course, New York, Connecticut. So even Washington D.C. we met some people. So it's going to be interesting.
Wow.
It's going to be interesting.
Speaking of Washington, D.C., one of our mutual friends who we did an article on that you introduced me to, Brian Jamont from the Marriott, is now this guy is a mover and a shaker. If you read the article on Tequila Aficionado, you'll know more about it's called the Corner Restaurant and Bar in Austin that is affiliated with the Marriott. Well, Brian is he's the manager of the whole place. Well, he's been promoted to DC. Yeah, and still with Marriott, obviously. So he's a mover, and everywhere he moves, he improves the tequila atmosphere, the menu, the tequila atmosphere. So he has a track record of doing that, which is really interesting. You can binge watch all of the videos that we interviewed Brian, and I'm hoping that maybe DC is another place for Embajador to consider, because I tell you what, Washington D.C. has a lot of really good restaurants. It's become a hotbed for tequila and mezcal.
Yeah, so, and Brian, he's a wonderful gentleman, man. Just you can sit there and talk tequila with him all night and find something different about tequila. You know.
Well, he taught me a couple of things about bourbon and stuff. You know, he's very well practiced. So one of the better palates in the business. And really a secret weapon for all the Marriotts in the chain. So I think Embajador, there's some, he has a real affinity for the craft tequila and the small batch stuff that he fell in love with Embajador, and you fell in love with his tacos.
Yeah, I recommend anyone visiting the Austin, you got to stop by the JW Marriott and have their short braised rib tacos, man. Good stuff.
They rock, man. You convinced me, because I'm not a big taco kind of guy, but I'm all for a great, tequila bar, and somebody who works. It's really unusual to see someone who works for a corporation look for small batch spirits, that are really indicative of the area that they're in.
But that's part of what they're doing now, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're trying to be more local.
Yeah. And so kudos to Marriott for doing stuff like that, because it takes guys who have a lot of passion, and you'll find that when you guys see the videos or at least read the article on Brian. He's really somebody to watch, because really a cool guy, awesome. I can't say enough about what Marriott's doing, and it takes guys like him to really bring that. It's great to have an ally in a corporation, in a corporate environment like that. So, especially when you're a small brand like
because of he's our white knight in some of these places.
Yeah. So tell me what stood out to you about the show and things like that. Anything that we should be aware of, and what's new for that you saw or that you witnessed at the show that you thought.
Well, definitely the show it brought together a lot of new brand owners, looking for obviously that distributor partnership. It just, you see so many new brands hitting the market, and some of these brand owners are just, they're hopeful that they will get partnership, or they will get some kind of agreement with a distributor. But these I hope all these brand owners are really careful what distributors they select. I think the one thing that we're going to start seeing is a lot more smaller independent distributors really take on some of these very boutique brands, the craft distillery part of this world, to compete with some of these bigger distributors and, the usual suspects that we see out there. So some of these smaller distributors are kind of looking for that fine quality distilled spirit, whether it's a moonshine or just, we met a couple there from Quebec that they had a maple wine. So really, a sparkling, it was, different. It was different. And I think that's what some of these people are coming, having just different brands, something different.
So the general trend that you see is that there's a lot of craft, like you said, whether it's moonshine or tequila or liqueurs, you're seeing that there's still an evolving trend.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's even more so that we're seeing some of these smaller brands emerge, and they're not going away. They're not going away because they understand that there is a niche in the market for them. There is, retailers out there supporting, our, small family brands, and, they don't want the big usual suspects. They want to focus on the small family brands, so that's what, it's important to kind of see and work with some of these distributors and, make sure that you guys are on that same page, and, it's a partnership after all, so.
Well, that really is I think it's a testament to these brands and even these small distributors who are, they're engaging their public and they're educating their public. It's because of guys like you and people with their small brands who are, and the public is starting to demand. They're still demanding that, and I think that I think that's wonderful that. Especially in New York, where you see it, the original melting pot, and you see that the people, are going to, they're offering what the consumer is asking for, and you guys are in an unusual position because your consumer could be on the on premise, the off premise, but also where I see the end consumer is the guy who, the average guy who's going to fork out his 20, 30, 40 bucks and buy the bottle off the shelf because you're in that unique position where you can deal with both. And it's the guy who puts down his hard-earned cash who is demanding this top quality. If I'm going to pay this kind of money, I want quality.
Absolutely. I think the quality is starting to kind of emerge, as to where, retailers were some bigger retailers about bottom line, but that's why you gotta kind of pay attention to where you want to place your product, and because quality is kind of making that demand, I guess. People are looking for quality products, so definitely something to look out for.
Excellent. Well, Embajador is just headed for bigger and better things. Prior to that, I know that I was talking.
You need to stop talking now.
I was going to ask him a question.
No, you need to stop.
I need to ask him this question. I need to ask him. She's been dying to talk about this.
We need to talk about the lady who teaches tequila.
I was getting to that. She's been dying. She's been dying to talk about this.
Are we allowed to drink on open bar? Because I don't know when it's open.
Oh yeah, well, we've got the Embajador snifter. These are so cool. If you ever capture Embajador at a public tasting, you're going to see these. Now these are hard plastic, so these are keepsakes. You get to keep these, and they're really the coolest things because they're the closest things to glass that really helps you appreciate Embajador. So yeah, you're allowed to drink, and I'm going to join you, buddy. Let me tell you. So Lisa's been dying to hear about. You are one of the many that I know that have taken Ana Maria Romero Mena's class, now, if you're not familiar with her, she is the teacher of teachers of tequila tasting and how to be a catador. We wrote about her on Tequila Aficionado.
Let's mention, long before Casa Dragones.
Yeah, long before Casa Dragones, there was
Ana Maria.
Ana Maria. And she is the inventor. Show this. She is the inventor of this booklet. It's not even a book. It's a tequila tasting kit. And inside each one of these vials,
these are all the aromas.
All the aromas
that you can pick up in tequila.
All the aromas and flavors that you pick up in tequila.
Again,
she devised it.
Terroir.
Terroir.
Yeah.
Definitely. So tell me, how did it go? How was it?
The class was amazing. I think,
By the way, I want to go on record saying I hate you, and I'm so jealous right now. The people have been taught by her.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I got to thank the family for sending me to her class. When I first started, when I joined the family with the tequila, it was just, going to her class.
Beer guy, right?
Beer guy, yeah. Since I was 18, started in the beverage industry, and just I focused on beer. Come from a family of beer background. So when what I knew about tequila, I knew it from my father. We were.
He was a big Don Julio guy, wasn't he?
The Añejo, even a little bit of the Tres Generaciones. This was in the 1980s. And that's what I knew. That's what I knew. So, and I knew I liked tequila, but after I took her course the first time, I absolutely had a passion for tequila. I went from love to having a passion to just an honor to be able to represent tequila. Being a Mexican product and me having a Mexican culture, it was something so special for me, and it continues to be. And her first class, I was like a deer in headlights, man. I was just awed by the information kind of absorb it. And her first class, I was trying to absorb everything that I just kind of.
She has different levels,
so I took
right?
The basic,
difficulty.
In 2013. Right. So it was the basic level, kind of just learning the process, the very basics of tequila making, and all that. And it was such a, for lack of a better, it was a beautiful class to take, and it wasn't, that information kind of sits in as you're kind of, working the trade, you kind of start talking. So, so I learned it. I kind of got the process down, especially with Embajador Tequila, having that, the distillery disposed, right, being able to go there, and just really learn from our master tequilero and just learn the whole process, to see it. One thing is to read about it in theory and read it, but another thing is to see it. It's two different things.
Yeah, I recommend that anybody, and you've heard me say this because when you and I do shows, I recommend to anyone, if you've never been to a distillery, go. It will change your life. You will, whatever your passion happens to be, whether it's beer or coffee or lemonade, whatever, go see how they do it, because you'll never look at that product the same way
again. And it just,
I
thought that class kind of opened up my senses and opened up some of the things that I, but this second class, or this is her level 3 class, I felt like I didn't.
This is when you get your certification, right? You get that certificate.
Yeah, I thought I was going to come in like, all right, I know a little bit more. I've been, I've got this. It's going to be a little bit easier to understand. And oh no, it was a whole different approach to tequila. I was as dumbfounded as I was the first time I went there. I was like, what? And I mean, I understand. I speak Spanish and I understand Spanish, but her class, she offers it in English as well, but her, it was in Spanish. So something that, I had to, I understand it, but I have to kind of really, really focus and pay attention.
Right. Yeah. Usually a little bit of this helps.
Yeah. Right. There's no shortage of that, But yeah, her level 3, the Gran Catador, it was just an amazing class. I wasn't that great with, taking chemistry in high school or in college, but this really breaks down the molecular structure of the agaves as they're cooking. What aromas they give off. Oh my God, it was an amazing class.
You're still, it sounds like you're still absorbing it. You really take it and process that information, which I think is what happened the first time you took her class. It became a part of you and your pitch or your sales pitch, or however you want to call it, your patter, but it becomes part of your vocabulary.
Because now you truly understand when you're actually doing, a cata, or you're tasting tequila, or you're trying other tequilas, your palate, you train it to a sense, or you train your palate and your nose to really understand where that process came from, where you're tasting some of these characteristics that you're tasting from the tequila. You understand where it's coming from, whether it's from the water, from part of distillation, from fermentation, and it's a constant practice. She left us homework. We have to do 30 catas. I'm a little behind on, but we have to do 30 catas on different tequilas, and just
come over next time, because I'm looking at over 30 tequilas right now.
Come to the Tequila Lending Library.
Yes, we have a lending library. And did she cover glassware? Did she cover the importance of glassware?
Not so much.
Yes, sir.
Not so much. We went over the different styles of tequila. The way they make them now with their autoclave or straight adobe brick oven, or we even got into diffuser tequilas, and
I bet
definitely. Because you hear different sides of the controversy with diffuser, but you know what? Unless you have a trained palate, it's going to be really hard to distinguish, the diffuser process. And like I said, to each, there's just a different style of making tequila.
Yeah, that's generally, that was the bottom line when we did the article on diffusers, is that really the distillers who have them and use them, they feel that they're just making a different style of tequila.
And they're usually great gateway tequilas. They're usually,
if they're done right,
yes. Yeah. If they're done right, they're a great way to get somebody interested in tequila, just to get them started. It's a wonderful way to ease them
definitely. In. We had the great opportunity to visit some distilleries, but most importantly, her classes, you learn so much, and this class, Mike, I know you can skip a few of her classes and go straight into this level 3, but it's an amazing class of I think just the chemistry breakdown of the way the aromas that the agave give when you cook them, at different levels of boiling point, and it was amazing. It was just, I can take that class over and over, so I didn't mind failing it if I did, because.
The next one was going to be on you, man.
That's
the next one. You don't want to fail.
But definitely we got into barrel characteristics, and what the barrel does to the tequila. It was just a lot of information.
A lot of secrets. I love learning stuff like that, and I don't even mind crawling before I can. I'm used to that, because that's the only way you learn is, it's like wipe, was it wax on, wax off. I'm there, man, because that's.
But it sounds to me like she's, and we all know she has the scent, the whole scent book and everything. But it sounds to me like it's very sensual as far as the class goes. She teaches you how to identify what your senses are already taking in.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that kit that you guys have there, it's one of those kits that you just, it's like a everyday thing, is where you're smelling some of these scents and breaking it down to what it is and what part of that, part of the distillation process does that scent come from.
Well, that's a lot of people are not aware that there is an existing aroma flavor wheel for tequila, that she devised. You see a lot of the flavor wheels that you see that are out there for tequila are really adapted
from wine.
Mm-hmm. Her aroma wheel, I have a copy of it. Somebody sent it to me. Well, now we actually have it.
We have the official copy.
We have the official copy, but
not the bootleg copy.
I got a bootleg.
Is it
that
the new
somebody
one?
had sent me?
You know, there's a new one.
And, well, no, it's the same one. But it came from her. It wasn't an adapted one from wine. And at the time when it was sent to me, I thought it was amazing because whatever scents you smell, they had it broken down into which process of the tequila making process this scent comes from. So if you smell like fuel, it's because something happened in distillation. If it's sour or something, it happened in fermentation. I've never seen that before. And we have yet to publicize that. I think it's proprietary. I don't really think that it's something to be made public unless we have her permission to do it. Because once you see that wheel, it supersedes everything that you've ever known or seen as far as tequila wheels that have been adapted from wine wheels. And I say wheel because they're usually in a wheel format.
Yeah.
Her stuff was amazing. I saw this and my mouth fell open, and I said, "Oh my God!" She figured out, where the smell comes from, because you can pull it out and identify it, but you don't know where it went wrong or where it went right.
Absolutely.
How come you smell honey? Well, that comes from the barrel, or something.
But and the beginning tequila drinker will, like, for instance, when I started, I could smell a tequila and I'd be like, oh, that's really nice. And all I knew, I had no vocabulary. I had no reference. So I knew if it was nice, if I liked it or not. But now, after working with her kit, now I can smell a tequila and say, oh, this is wood from the barrel, or this is, this is what was previously in the barrel, or, oh, that's fresh agave. That's the green agave, or that's the baked agave. And there's so many different things in it. And she does an amazing job of opening your eyes and giving you the vocabulary and giving you the knowledge to know why you love tequila so much.
I think one of the hardest questions, when you're taking our class or our final exam, you had to identify whether that tequila was cooked in an autoclave, whether it was cooked in a column still, in where they used a taona, whether they used the adobe brick oven, or was it both? That was intense.
That's really comprehensive.
Wow! So you are fully immersed. You're fully her third class or third level, her catador level class is completely immersive.
I mean,
you're. No wonder you're still like, I can feel it. You're vibrating this stuff, man. Next time I'm just going to take lessons from you now.
It's intense, man. And to keep that going, it's constant practice. It's trying different tequilas and training your palate, training your nose. It's just like anything. You got to practice at it. You got to be consistent, and and that way, it helps me as a salesperson when I'm pitching my brand. To really let people know, our profile, where it comes from, what they're tasting, because I always let them taste them first before I even tell them what it tastes like, or, because we all have different palates, we're all going to perceive it differently, but because I don't want to lead the witness, I want them to kind of pick up on things, and then I kind of let them know, well, look, this is what my palate found. And sometimes they hit it right on, and, but it's an amazing class.
So now you're even more adept at being able to teach. You know, when you do a public tasting, or you do a trade show, or you do a open to the public tasting. You know, like maybe you do a next show, like whatever the name of the show in San Diego now, or smaller ones. I understand there's another one in Monterey, California that's coming back. You know, now you're able to take that information and be able to teach your public, your consumer,
absolutely.
your end consumer.
Absolutely. It's really just to, you know, just educate them and communicate to them about our brand. You know, being transparent. You know, this. You know, there's nothing to hide. You know, this is the way our process is. You know, this is how we make it. And just education. Education is key, especially with you know, with Embajador Tequila being a small family-owned brand. It's about educating them on our process. You know, and you know, why Embajador. You know, why, you know, so.
So now that you have this education behind you, how does it? How do you feel that the family tequila stacks up?
I think it definitely competes. You know, I think it's definitely a ball player. You know, it can challenge some of the you know, the bigger boys. It's definitely in the pro leagues. You know, it's just a matter of having people try it. You know, and let them, you know, choose themselves. That's the only thing I can do, is put it in people's hands and and go from there. You know, let people try.
But having like I said, having done some shows with you in the past, in fact, I had the privilege of being the official mouthpiece for Embajador during the San Antonio Cocktail Conference in January.
He's got a big mouthpiece.
I got a big mouthpiece. But I had such a great time, Andres, you know, because the beautiful part about Embajador is that, yeah, like you were saying, once you get it past the lips, you know, it's really up to the consumer. This is my cat. This is our cat, Freddie.
Cat at camera.
He's really very much a tequila cat. Our other cat, Añejo, is more of a coffee cat. But anyway.
No, he's a tequila drinker.
He's a tequila drinker. Yeah. But anyhow, the neat thing about and the reason that I got involved or had volunteered to work with Embajador is that I don't have to lie. You know, I've been in sales a lot of my life, and I've had to sell some stuff, and I'm sure you too have had. And all those of you who are watching have had that moment where you just can't do this anymore. And, you know, you're selling something you don't really believe in, you know, whether it's long distance, you know, or
yeah, you can never sell a product that you don't believe
in. You can, but you get to a certain point where you just can't look at yourself anymore.
Yeah.
And the beautiful part about Embajador, because we get tequilas that are sent to us all the time, and that's why we call it sipping off the cup. But Alex and I can't lie. If it tastes like hell, we're going to tell you. But if it tastes really, really good, we're going to fall all over ourselves. And the beautiful part about Embajador is you don't have to lie. All I had to do was get it past the lips and then tell the customers all about it. And I had such a good time because I was so proud to be able to represent a great small, you know, craft brand to people who were going, wow, this is what tequila is really about. And I loved it. You know, I can't tell you how much fun I had dealing with the public, because that was open to the public, you know, taste. So we were slammed for the 4 or 5 hours that we were there, and I loved every minute of it. And so, you know, that's the best part about this particular brand, Embajador, is you don't have to lie. So you know that once you get it past the lips, the rest is downhill.
Yeah,
man.
it's just you know, the rest is just telling our story and kind of go from there. You know.
So tell us the Embajador story.
The Embajador
from
story.
Tell me how you got involved with them. I know the story, and I know you've related to us, and people can read it on Tequila Aficionado. But
tell our audience.
Tell the audience. People. You know, it's new every time you tell it. What do you tell them?
Well, you know, before I joined the family business, like you said, I can't sell something that I don't believe in myself, or and that was my thing, before, yeah, before I joined, and I had to taste it. I had to know that's something that I liked and something that I enjoyed selling. Yeah, I had a few bottles that the family gave me, and I of course went to my trusted source.
When you say family, you married into the family, right?
Let's tell how he got into the family.
Yeah, you married into the family.
Correct. Yeah, so this is my wife's side of the family. It's in 2000. Well, let me see. I was always, like I said, always in the beer industry since I was 18. My last job was with I worked for Grupo Modelo, but here in the States. They were called Prosomex. I was actually one of the last ones hired. Unfortunately, through joint ventures and the whole beer world experience, it was, but sometimes bad things have to happen for good things to come about. But in that whole process, I had met my wife in California, and she moved to Arizona, and I stayed in California, but we were just dating at the time, and probably a few months. This was in probably 2006. And then, I ended up getting a job out here in Arizona.
Because you couldn't live without her.
Couldn't live without a job is what it was. Right? But yes.
Oh, whoa! No, the correct answer is.
But
live without her.
If I didn't believe in faith until I met her, and until I really, realized. And so yeah, I came out here to work actually for Miller Brewing Company, and I did some time out here for a couple of years, and it was definitely an adventure out here, and I had, like I said, I'd been in the beer industry for a good, probably going on 20 years, and I had a lot of connections, a lot of people that I knew back in California, and so I wanted to do something for myself, and I had heard that her cousin had a brand and a distillery that they were doing some small things with, and I it was pretty much, I asked if he can kind of co-produce a tequila for me, and that's something.
Because your dream is to actually have your own brand.
Yeah, that dream's still alive. Right? So, but
even probably more so now than before.
I've kind of embraced Embajador as my own, man, because I really just fell in love with the brand. It just, it's just, yeah. So, so long story short, it's just, I kind of pitched, my ideas to the family, kind of what I wanted to do, the connections, the structure of how I was going to build a brand. And long story short, they kind of said, what, we need someone to help us build this brand that we already have established, help us, get it to where it needs to go. And then, we'll entertain the idea of maybe creating your own brand, so, but, like I said, right now, I got bit by the Embajador bug, and it's definitely something that I've taken on as my own, and now it's just an amazing opportunity to me. There's so much behind the scenes and so much that goes into building a brand, and it's not easy by any nature. It's just, and it's even more difficult to that if you don't have that distributor background, if you don't understand the 3-tier system, if you don't understand how to work the market. Brand owners can really fall flat if they don't understand it. Luckily, I understand it. That's where the majority of my experience comes from, is from the distributor side of the world, and knowing how to work the streets, how to build brands. And so it's kind of, I think everything just kind of came to place, like I said, I do believe in faith. I do, I met my wife, and it's created this amazing opportunity for us. And we're going to keep knocking on doors out here, and we're going to keep pushing this brand,
Well, there's some good news to be had too right now. I guess I know that I've told people that when when Lisa was off camera, that you're based in Austin, but very soon, if not right now, you're now available in a couple of places in Arizona, which is where you guys live.
Yeah,
right?
so we opened up the market probably this March 1st or this a couple of weeks ago. And
you're a month into a new market.
Yeah, so Arizona is definitely going to be special because this is my home background, and we really want to make Arizona our model market. So within 15 days, we're already kind of knocking on some really great doors, some really great opportunities happening. So I gave myself 90 days to kind of get things structured, but we're ahead of the game here. So and I just we just brought on another team member here to help us out. His name is Andy Silvas, who comes to us from the beer industry as well. He was the national chain account manager for Alaskan Brewing. So
Wow.
I said we understand this game. We understand this beverage industry. It's just it's the same game, just the players change a little bit. So and Andy, coming from the industry, definitely knows how to play this game and knows what it takes to work the streets, work with the distributors, work with the retailers. So that's going to be key. It's going to be key.
Well, I understand congratulations are in order because your new hire, Andy, was able to get you guys in with a very prominent retailer, Total Wine.
Yeah, within
Arizona. So congratulations to the the state of Arizona is that much better.
Yeah. So we definitely, we got our foot in the door. So hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, we'll get distribution at all Total Wine and more locations here in Arizona. Cheers to that one. So
we should actually go the other direction and congratulate Total Wine.
Yeah.
For being smart enough to pick up a brand like Embajador, because it can only help the market. I think for me, Arizona has always been a great hotbed for tequila. Oddly enough, considering some of the problems going on about the border and politics and stuff, but it's a big tequila state, and there's room for a lot more. So I can't be happier for you guys, because it's about time, especially since it's in the backyard.
There's going to be some really awesome things that we're going to be able to do here, and really support the market. That's, I think for me, that's one of the biggest things, being able to support the market, having presence here, just on a daily basis, and just, definitely going out there with the retailers and talking with them, letting them get to know who I am, who the brand is, just have that straight connection, that there's not anyone in the middle, there's not a broker or someone, there's, they're dealing directly with the family. And I think that's special.
There's no promo girl.
You're looking at them.
You in that black dress, it's not very flattering.
Me and my wife will we're going to partner up again, because when we first started, it was her and I, doing the tastings, and
That's right.
She's just an amazing salesperson herself, and
see, I can't wait to work a show where the three of us are in the booth. It's going to be crazy.
They're not going to need you.
You're right. No, but I mean, I would love to watch the two of you together, and watch her in action. She must be something special, because I've met her. I met her briefly. Actually, briefly, we met for about 4 hours the first time you and I met. Because you and I grew up in the same kind of neighborhood, in the same area. Yeah, Southern Cal. And when I met Andres and his wife, Esmeralda, we should mention that's because that's my grandmother's name. God rest in peace. But anyway, we spent like 4 hours at a Starbucks talking about your brand. You guys came to see me. and I got to
now,
meet.
were they talking for 4 hours, or were you?
Well, both of us, I think, kind of. I think it worked all the way around.
Mostly him, right?
No, it was all of us.
Yeah, no, it was just, I think it was just, the timing was great, you know. It just, I think we just, everything just kind of clicked, you know. Definitely everything kind of just kind of lined up, and it was just, like you said, sometimes it was just the right timing.
Yeah.
Well, before we knew it, it was 4 hours. I mean, we had been, you know, it was going to be like an afternoon. Next thing we know, it's getting dark outside.
Yeah, definitely, man. It was, yeah. So I'm excited about Arizona. You know, it's going to be fun. And I think that's one of the most important things I can really focus is just to keep having fun. You know, not to let, you know, it can get overwhelming at times, but you gotta just remember to, you know, to have fun. You know, that's what the beverage industry, you know, and building a brand, it should be fun. I know politics kind of gets involved, and it's hard. It wasn't what it used to be, but
no, I agree with you there.
And but I kind of, you know, being on our own, being with a really small family-owned distributor out here. It allows us to kind of, you know, not be in this big distributor part of the world where it's just too political, where it just allows us to have a little bit more fun and a little bit more open range, a little bit more freedom to kind of do some things out there and just
free range tequila. Well, you know, you and I, like I say, you and I have worked a couple of shows. We worked a big one in Dallas. I was able to work the San Antonio Cocktail Conference for Embajador. And that's really is the bottom line when things, because you and I have spent a lot of time in the car together, you know, a few hours driving. Yeah. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. There's a lot of disappointment, a lot of heartache. It's not easy. We've talked so far. We've been very fortunate at Open Bar. We've been able to talk to several small brand owners, importers, distributors, and all the stories are similar. I think all you guys can learn from each other. But the bottom line is, like you said, if you don't have fun, and the neat thing is, you already know that you don't have to lie. So because if you were working your product and you're behind it, it's because you're not lying, because you can. But the bottom line is
it's a tough business. If you can't enjoy what you're doing, then it's just too much.
It's too much.
It's a really tough business. And
like you say, it can be overwhelming because you and I have talked, like I say, at length, you know, in a closed environment on the road, and I know, you know, I know how tough it can be. We realize at Tequila Aficionado how tough this business can be. And so for us to offer a platform where you can reach out to 138 countries and say, look, taste us. You know, we're about this. You know, we're about fun, family, and friends. You know, what else? Everything else is up to them. Everything else is up to the consumer, whoever they happen to be, whether it's a retailer or the guy that's going to pull this off the shelf and go, I want this in my tequila library.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we're out there to have fun, but you know, we have a good business practice. We have a good strategy. You know, understanding the market, understanding the retail business you want to get into. It really comes down to a science. You know, to how you build the brand. You have to understand the basic principles. You know, and you said, I think I'm in a fortunate position where I had the fundamentals, you know, starting my career at a Anheuser-Busch distributor, which, you know, I do accredit that a lot of my discipline to them. You know, that's something I walked away with was, you know, that discipline that you learn from working at a you know, I can't speak for other distributors, but at a Anheuser-Busch distributor, it was a lot of discipline. Stuff. So, and I kind of carry that with me today, you know. But you have to be disciplined at the same time, and
I'm sure AB InBev will like to hear that. That they're not that their culture, at least at the time that you were.
Yeah, well, it wasn't
in
InBev back then. It was just, you know.
Yeah, it was just Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah,
It was still
yeah.
American
So
owned.
I'm sure they hopefully carry that same culture, but you know, and having that kind of structure, those kind of roots, definitely helps. And like I said, in the science of, you know, building this brand, knowing how to build it, that allows you to have fun. You know, all within means. You know, you can easily kind of get away from it, but you know, like I said, it's about discipline.
Yeah. You know, when you're dealing with the public, whether it's a trade show or an open to the public show, you got to have fun with those people, because they're out there to have fun too. You know, a lot of them are just out there to taste something different and to experience something new. And if they can come away with a story, a skill, a new favorite brand that they want to go looking for, you know, and you and I have been real fortunate. I've seen more good things happen when Embajador does a show, whether it's a handful of consumers, you know, 5 people can tell their friends, and that's over 500 that are going to know, hey, you really got to try this, you know, and that's where it's really worth doing, you know, picking and choosing which shows you're going to do, because the public that attends is really important. And I think we've been very fortunate. Embajador's been very fortunate to have some really faithful followers, whether it's on social media, you know, on their Instagram or their Twitter and Facebook, or live at some of their events, whether in South Texas or now in Arizona. And hopefully soon,
West Texas too.
A lot of West Texas. You know, there's a lot of love for this brand, and I think it's beginning to snowball. And I'm so glad that Tequila Aficionado and Open Bar can be a part of that and can watch how this is all unfolding. You know, and hopefully soon New York and maybe somewhere in the South. You know, because right now the South. The southeastern United States is a hotbed for tequila and mezcal. You don't think so, but I'm telling you, the states down there that are controlled or that are looking at small batch, they get it. They understand.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's something special going on down there. So we'll explore it and see where we go, where we end up. So.
Well, promise me that you'll keep Tequila Aficionado and Open Bar informed.
I never did get to ask him, when is the extra añejo coming to the U.S. You talking?
I'm not talking. I'm letting him talk.
Extra añejo. I'm hoping. I mean, it's just right now. It's just the small little details, or it's kind of, I think, what's holding up the brand. I mean, the liquid is ready. The box, I think it's finalized. The bottle.
You know that Alex and myself and Lisa, we want first dibs on.
Man, I want a first dibs on that, man. No, I'm anticipating. Man, I'm hoping by June, July, June.
Oh, good.
June, the latest August. So believe me, I'm putting a little pressure on our people back in Mexico, and there's a lot of requests.
You definitely want to have it, you know, for the end of year, for the holiday, right?
Yeah. There's,
you know, a brand new extra añejo for Christmas,
right? Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
baby.
So there's definitely people asking for it. There's, you know, I think. It's hopefully you guys will know. You guys will be the first ones to know, man.
Yay! All right.
Thank you so much for joining us, Andres. And thank you for pushing on through the technical issues.
Thank you so much, and thank you everybody for joining us.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you, man. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate it. Woohoo!
Okay, and next week join us. We will be talking tequila and cigars with Senor Rio. Another family tequila that is actually based in Arizona.
And built on a love story as well.
Yes, we love the love stories.
We love the love stories because, you know.
Join us for the telenovela Senor Rio.
Next week.
Okay. Next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.